Yeah, looks like recording in progress. Okay.
Ivan, it's very bright.
Hello.
Right. Okay. So, Ivan, what's your name? Are you Russian? It's a Russian.
Well, my name is Russian, but it's old Spanish as well. In the old Spanish scriptures, like the old Castilian, Juan, which is John, it's written Ivan, so you can actually read it as Ivan,
Okay.
So,
What do you mean by scriptures?
so
Is this like Bible?
no, sorry, I mean like the old literature, actually. I mean, I know. Why did I mention scriptures? Because there was this saint called San Isidro, which is the patron saint of Madrid, and his master, because he was a slave, he was actually a guy who worked in the fields. His master was called Ivan de Vargas, and my father claimed that Ivan de Vargas was our ancestor. So that's why they call me Ivan. That's where it comes from.
In Scotland, it's like Ivan. Anyone that's called Ivan is Russian. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. So are both your parents Spanish?
They're both Spanish. Yeah, they were Spanish. They're not alive. They're no longer alive. But yeah, they were. My father was from Galicia, which is northeast of Spain, about Portugal, and my mom was from Madrid. So. Yeah.
So how did you end up in the affluent bubble of Dea?
What is it? Sorry.
How did you end up in the hell hole of millionaires and slaves that it's become known as Dea?
Why do you call it a hole? What were you saying? Hellhole.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why is it a hellhole for you? Why is it a hellhole for you?
Well, I lived there for 4 years, and it's probably it's not the worst 4 years of my life. Probably Sawyer's worse, actually.
Well, I live in Sawyer now.
I'm in Sawyer, it's even worse. I don't know if it's just when you get old, life gets worse when you get old. Is that, maybe I'm wrong? I think we're similar ages. You must have been born about 1973 or 4.
Yeah, earlier than that. Earlier. I just have a pact with the devil.
You were born like in the 60s?
I was born in the 60s. That's correct.
Wow. Okay, we won't go there. So my question was, how did you end up in Dea?
I was working at this art gallery, very well-known gallery, Leo Castelli. They came from New York to the art fair in Madrid. Okay, and then this lady approached me with this portfolio from an artist, and the artist happened to be Marty Klavine, and the lady was Laura Klavine.
Be careful. This is I'm talking to a major player in the mafia of Dea. It's an honor to talk to you. Hey, thanks for saying yes, by the way. Thank you very much. So, no Marty, really, wow. I really like his work, actually.
Yeah. It's well, it's a work that belongs to a time, to a time in history.
Well, in some ways, yes. In other ways, I would say no. It's timeless. It's beyond any kind of cultural restraints.
But maybe so. Yes, you might be right. Yeah.
So that's pretty lucky.
I was at first. I went to Poyensa, which is across the island, and I spent like 2-3 weeks there. I was like very peaceful time, very quiet, with my bicycle. And then I went to I called Laura and I say, hello, I'm in Mallorca. You remember telling me to stop on my way back to Palma. She said, yeah, come here, stay. You can stay. I've got a spare room, blah blah. So I went back to there, and I thought like people were crazy there. Everyone was so strung up. Like, where's the party? Oh, like, what time is it? I was like,
what time was it? Like 1975?
No. No, it was 1994.
Oh, and they're still strung out.
Yeah. So I thought everyone's crazy in this village.
94, right, wow.
Yeah, but no, sorry, it was 1992.
92. So that was when you first ended up in there, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
See, was there any significant events in your life before 1992 that you would say were important?
Yeah, my eldest daughter was born.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And Nina, who is 32.
Nina, okay. So I do know, I've seen Nina around. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's my eldest.
I never actually figured that one out, but okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah. So she's
Wow. She's amazing.
and
Well done. You've got 3 amazing kids, by the way. And recently I've been noticing Amaro's photographs. Sorry, I'll go off on many tangents because we've got 40 minutes and then it stops, so it might stop. But Amaro's, I don't know if you've seen his photographs recently, but they're unbelievably good.
the ones from Mali, Africa.
Yeah, unbelievable. I noticed his photographs before, but these recent, whatever he's up to these past few weeks, unbelievable. The photographs are amazing.
Good, they're good, aren't they? They're good. Yeah.
And he's thrown himself in wherever he's doing is unbelievable. I love how he presents whatever he's doing. I don't know, it's really good.
Yeah. The thing is, he's good with. He's a good photographer. Yeah, he's a good photographer.
So it's weird because I've got like this weird. I don't feel pride. My son's only 11, so it's different for me. But I'm starting to get these weird emotions where people come up and say, "Oh, your son's great." But it's not pride because I think pride's a pretty foolish direction to go down. But I just know that it's my son, and it's just I'm not surprised that he's amazing because it's not like I don't know. It's love. Love is like it's not like it's beyond.
Unconditional love, is it?
Yeah, you understand what I'm trying to get to? It's like beyond. It's beyond money, or it's not like a job.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I put the time. I gave him love, and he's the way he is because of love. You know.
Of course, it's unconditional love. It doesn't matter how he acts, what he does. You know, it's just unconditional love. You can be rude,
unconditional. That's
you still love it. You know?
Unconditional is this is the thing that people don't realize in this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get everything's conditional, I think, at the moment.
Well, there's a few things that still stand unconditional.
Yeah, but the point I was trying to make was this: I have this weird relationship with the word pride.
Pride.
Yeah. I don't feel proud of my son, but I love him and I think he's great. But I don't think pride's the right word. I don't know if you could.
I know what you mean. I mean, pride it comes from the ego, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. So you can be. I mean, it's actually irrelevant if you're proud or not. You know.
Yeah, it's more just like, well, he's my son, so obviously he's going to be fucking great. You know.
Of course.
Because that's what every relationship, every situation is unique, you know. And anyway, let's go back. I'm sorry, I'll jump around. I'll go back to 1992, and so the birthday of your daughter was before that. Where did you go to school? Did you go to school in Madrid?
I did go to school in Madrid. Yes, I did.
So, and were you obviously you're interested in music and art?
Well, it was the 80s, you know, it was like a very exciting time in Madrid, especially, you know, it was like Franco had recently died, you know, and then there was like this explosion of art and culture and music, and all of a sudden there were like places where you could go and watch gigs, you know, which was not happening before. And it was like the new wave was exploding, you know, and all these exciting bands coming. And bands being formed in Spain as well, you know.
Forgive me. I'll just jump in and interrupt. Forgive me, right? Because I think this is the reason. There's no besides Lorca and Dali maybe, Picasso maybe. There is a bit of a gap regarding music and art. I know that you've got Aldemover and you've got this band called Radio. What they called Radio Futura. Radio
What's that?
Futura. I'm just trying
Radio
to,
Futura. Radio
yeah, I'm
Futura.
trying to get in my head the gap in
Well,
culture.
Radio Futura is
Spain.
the time I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now it's come to be called La Movida.
Like a renaissance.
Yeah, when we were living that, we didn't call it anything. We just went out, had fun, made our music, paint our paintings, you know, but we didn't call it now. Now it's like official. It was La Movida back in the 80s, you know, early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, you know. Now it's you know, become like an official name, you know. But it was just very spontaneous, you know, very spontaneous. So yeah, although for instance, you just mentioned he had a I wouldn't call it a band, you know. He would sing with this other very strong character called Fanny McNamara, who was like a transvestite, you know, and they were outrageous, you know, they were quite outrageous, you know. And
is there any evidence of Fanny McNamara? Because I'd like to hear. That sounds like a Scottish band. Fanny McNamara or Irish?
Yeah, it was a bit of a crazy name he just put on. You know, it wasn't his real name. You know, Fabio de Miguel was his name. You know, but he just it was like a stage name, you know, for him. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Everyone, you know, I at the time. Everyone was having fun except me. That I had like a very dark sort of alternative sort of band, you know. It was like the other side of the coin, you know, of the movida, you know. And
I really enjoy the time that I've been in Madrid. It's so much more comfortable for me and enjoyable than Barcelona. I'm just coming at it from a Scottish guy without any angle. I just enjoy being in Madrid much more than Barcelona, even in the short time I've been there in the 90s and maybe in the past 20 years. Madrid's just a much more beautiful place and a much more interesting culturally place than Barcelona. Maybe Barcelona was nice before.
Yeah, well, maybe Barcelona is more as a city, you know, like the complexion of the city, the houses, the way the city is. It's a bit more. I don't know how to say it, civilized or artistic or something, you know. You've got
it reminds me like Valdemosa. It's like Valdemosa compared to Dea maybe, or Edinburgh compared to Glasgow. Edinburgh's shit and Glasgow's great. And I think Barcelona is pretty shit and Madrid is pretty great, you know. And I think Valdemosa is shit and Dea used to be great, but now I don't know what's going on in Dea at the moment. Have you been there recently?
Yes, I've been. I mean, I came back yesterday.
Yes. Oh, you're in Dea right now? Shit.
No, I'm in Madrid at the moment.
Okay.
But I rode my motorbike from Valencia to Madrid yesterday.
Wow.
I took the ferry and I drove my motorbike all the way back. You know?
Wow, that's cool. Valencia to Madrid, is that like 2 hours on a bike?
No, it took me 5 hours because yeah, it took me 5 hours because I don't really like the motorway, you know. So I take the side roads, you know, the back roads, and then I take my time, you know. I don't go full speed, you know. I like to enjoy the landscape and then go. I don't really like very fast motorbike riding. I like the, you know, like the back roads and
yeah, me too. I agree.
Stopping, you know, and watching the landscape, or you know, having a little bit of food by a lake or whatever, you know.
That sounds great. I do the same in Mallorca. I never take the highway. I always, if I'm going across the island, I'll take the small roads and I'll try and check out the Talayots or whatever.
Yeah. Where are you now? Where are you?
I'm in Sawyer, which is like, I'm in Sawyer.
Oh, you're in Sawyer. I thought you said Sawyer is terrible.
What did you think? What?
I thought you said Sawyer is worse than Dea.
It is. Well, it is. It's cheaper.
Oh yeah.
But you get what you pay for. I think in life you get what you pay for and you get what you deserve. So maybe I think you do.
Yeah.
So But yeah, the reason I don't know, my life's changed a lot. It's been a year now in my life. I don't think I've seen you in the last year, but this time last year I was in Palestine.
You were?
Also, my mother died recently, so these two big events
Oh,
have changed my
sorry
life.
to hear about that.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's weird
When
because the Palestine thing.
so when did she pass away?
She passed away like about a month ago.
Just only.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and
you're
then
very recent.
yeah. And I'm dealing with it and family stuff, and it's like a bomb, you know. A bomb goes off, and your life changes, and but I
It
feel the
does. It
same.
does. Your dad's still alive. Your dad's still alive.
No, he died like over 10 years ago. He was like a artist. He was like a
Oh,
commercial artist. So
commercial artist.
yeah,
Yeah, I see. I see.
that's why I kind of I relate to the kids in there because they're all kind of like sons and daughters of successful artists or musicians or so I kind of fit in quite well
Mhm.
because my father was he done okay as an artist, you know.
I
So
see. So you know the ropes.
so that means that you didn't like most of the kids in there, they didn't really have to worry about working.
They don't. They all took Trustafarians. You know.
Yeah, and
Well,
so there's a weird
not all of them, but many people in there don't have to worry about working. You know.
yeah. And so I call it like a bubble of affluence.
Yes. Yes.
But it got real. I mean, I've known because I've been on the island about 20 years, so I've seen how it's changed, and it seems to be dramatically in the last 10 years. Just by just looking at the bar, you know, the bar I used to love going. I used to love playing there. A lot. Your gig there was probably one of the last nights I was there. You know, I stopped going, and that gig that you had there was great. And people, things like that just don't happen. You got pushed out to another beautiful venue, and I thank you because I met a lovely girl called Judith at the last gig that you had there, and I think your music's amazing. I hope you're still writing and playing. Are you?
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I'm fixing my house in Madrid. You know, I bought a house outside of the city. I'm like in this little village called Chinchon, which is like a very
It's not near.
picturesque
It's not
sort
near
of.
north, is it?
No, south. I mean,
Okay.
it's on the road to Valencia. It's east of
Okay.
Madrid,
Yeah, 'cause
southeast.
I visited the Valley of the Fallen, which is another thing I'd love to talk about, which is what blew my mind. But anyway, tell me.
So it's a big house. It's been abandoned. The house before I bought it was abandoned for like 20 years, you know. So it's a big house, and I'm fixing it at the moment. You know, I'm working on the roof. I'm working like mad. You know, it's a lot of work. You know, so I have little time for my music. But as I came back today, I was planning to organize my day in a way that I do the work for the house and then my music as well, because you know lately in the last few months I've had it a bit left, you know, and I really need to get back to it because you know that's something that goes in my head all the time. You know, I have to actually do it. You know,
What you do is really amazing. I don't know. I don't want to be like a nepotist or kiss your, but I think it's really good. And I don't think even you realize how good it is.
do I? Well, for me, it's like it's you know I've been listening to music all my life. You know, I've always had like a big record vinyl collection.
Oh,
Blah, blah.
really?
So, yeah.
So
So
when you were
it's all
16, what was your like big band, 16 years old? Mine was the Smiths. I was into
the
the
Smiths.
Smiths. I was into Adam and the Ants.
Yeah, I don't remember the
So
answer.
when Adam
Yeah,
and the Ants, the Smiths, and then it kind of went Stone
yeah,
Roses, and then it went crazy because Acid House happened and everything went crazy. But I suppose Adam and
yeah.
the Ants is mine. So do you have an equivalent of for you about that time?
Well, at that age, I mean, techno came around. I mean, like you're at the early techno, you know, like the Depeche Mode, the Human League,
Yeah, it's
all
the same
all
time, yeah.
those bands, you know. Yeah, so that's for a teenager. That was like that. But then I quickly did. I mean, new wave came around as well, you know. And then there were all these new wave bands, you know. And then the spectrum opened up completely, you know. And then I started to investigate more and go deeper into it. And I started to get very interested in alternative bands, you know, like Captain Beefheart, the pop group, Birthday Party, you know, Einstürzen, Neue Bauten,
No way.
noisy alternative, you know, out of the mainstream.
Did you ever see Throbbing Gristle live?
Yeah, Throbbing Gristle live.
Did you see them live?
Yeah, a couple of times.
No way.
Yes.
Where? When?
Yes.
Tell me.
In Madrid.
Wow.
There was this program called La Edad de Oro, where they would bring a band every week, you know, and I used to have passes for as an audience, you know. So it was like really great because you went there to the television studios outside Madrid, and then you had your free drinks, you know, free bar, and then you would watch. There you go. You would watch you know, a good band, you know, a top band at the moment. Not many people because it wasn't crowded because you know. So it was a great place to watch gigs, you know.
Well, you're lucky to have seen.
So Cabaret Voltaire and the Lords of the New Church. Not my favorite, but yeah.
No, but Cabaret Voltaire have got a song called No Escape. I don't know if you know the song. It's called No Escape. Cabaret Voltaire.
No Escape.
No Escape. It's like No Escape. No Escape. I love this song.
Oh, No Escape.
You know
Escape. Okay. Yeah. I used to have all the Cabaret Voltaire records. Yeah. And then another was DAF, Deutsche Amerikanische Freundschaft. I mean, the Krautrock and all that, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. There were quite a few, and then SBK. I mean, all the industrial thingy. I don't know. You name it.
I think me and you were so lucky to grow up in these times because I look at my son and I'm like, what the? But maybe we're just old. Maybe the digital thing's great, the phone's great. I don't know, but I just feel that this human basic interaction is lost now. You know, surprise of life.
I think there's something good in every generation. You know. Of course, now it's all about reggaeton, you know, and trap and dembo and these things, you know. I mean, the bulk of it, it's unbearable, you know. But there are exceptions. You know. There are some. A few weeks ago, I was listening to this girl Tokisha. She's Dominican, you know. Yeah. She's fresh. She's a poet. She's fresh. She's bold. You know. She's challenging. She's got everything that we used to like back in the day. You know. Yeah. Just the sound is different. The sound is different. You know. It's more rappy, more hip hop, more wild. But you know, I'm finding also Rosaria, for instance. I think she's a great musician as well. You know.
There are a lot of people. Even my son.
She opens up different avenues, you know, to explore different sounds, you know. So there are exceptions. It's not the rule. I mean, it's not like there's a in my liking. I mean, everything is very mainstream today. It's really mainstream, you know.
Yeah, and sounds the same to my ears.
It's all the same tones, the same tunes, the same major chords, you know. It's always the same, you know. It's like it's just one song repeating itself, you know. But there are exceptions. Every now and then you find an exception.
That I used to like when I would go and see a band I'd never heard was I love the mistakes. I love it when things fall apart.
Oh yeah.
I love the beauty of things being broken, you know. And exactly. This is what I hate about the modern way of things. That everything's so perfect. There's no surprise. So I love that some things might fall apart. You know, there was always that chance that things might.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I can think of a few bands like that. You know, back in the day, like these punk bands, the Slits, the Au Pairs, the Magazine, Howard Devoto. I don't know, there's quite a few that would come on the stage and didn't have it all worked out, you know? And and it was Rip Rig and Panic. Do you know Rip Rig and
Yeah,
Panic?
yeah, I've seen they were on the Young Ones, so that's where my introduction was them. Was we were on a TV show called The Young Ones,
Oh, really?
and they came
Uh-huh.
on. There was like a situation comedy, but it was punky, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
came on. I think Nina Cherry was actually part of them. You know,
Nella Cherry was the singer. Was the singer.
yeah, yeah.
And she started a solo career back in the 90s. But before, in the 80s, she was part of the. I think they were from Bristol, weren't they? Yeah, they were
Yeah, I
from
think
Bristol.
so. Yeah, like a
Yeah,
collective, and that was to do with the Caribbean influence in Bristol. You know, from the
yeah,
slave trade. You know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is still like what I think of Dea. Sorry to go back to Dea, but I think you're either a slave or you're a millionaire, and in between there's not much. You know, you're either working to serve these people or you're nothing. You know, and life is like that. You know, you have to decide. Okay, you want to be a slave, or you want to be a millionaire, or you want to be outside of. Okay, you're not in part of society. Then you either
Well,
serve.
you can be an artist. An artist has no boss, you know.
Well, the artists around here, I don't know, it's different in the big cities, but the artists around here, they're millionaires because people that are the real artists, they don't have time to make art. They have to work they have to be slaves. They can't be artists. There's no time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
You have to be a millionaire to be an artist.
you have to. You have to have your life solved. You have to have your life sorted out.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
correct me if I'm wrong, but the art in Mallorca is awful.
yeah, it's not good.
It's a lot of German
Yeah.
rich, like the football managers come and retire here, and they come here because it's easy life, but they're destroying the culture here has been destroyed. I've seen it in the past 20 years because it used to be okay. It used to be okay.
Well, I mean, Mallorca is a great place for creating. You know, but I don't think
I have to disagree. I think it's really it's so beautiful. The weather's so good. It looks so good that it's uninspiring. And I feel more inspired when in Glasgow, where it's wet and it's shit and it's industrial. And I'm not
maybe so,
inspired.
maybe so, maybe so. Maybe
Yeah.
you might be right. Yeah, yeah. But there's not that many artists in Deia or that actually are like part of the international gallery circuit or anything, you know. They're just like a bit of well, yeah. They're
I'm trying
not
to
really.
think about who's played recently. There's a few bands coming up. There's a couple of guys from Glasgow or Scottish guys that are quite nice, but they're all connected to this. I need to be careful because I've done some interviews before and they were like, no, you can't put that out. I talked about Hotel COVID is wrong. And I talked about big farmers, you know, the big farmers. And we've got 10 minutes. And then they were like, please don't put that out. Because they're worried
Yeah,
about their jobs.
I know what you mean. You have to be careful with what you say these days. You need to be politically correct.
So, but we've got 10 minutes left. So if you want to talk about anything in the last 10 minutes, we kind of like, I'd love to know about what happened after you got from Madrid to Dea. And I'd love to know about how your acting career, you didn't talk about anything to do with your acting stuff as well.
Well, acting, I've always done a little bit here and a little bit there. I've never took it too serious, really. I mean, the time I was in there, I forgot all about it, you know, because I had my workshop there and I was doing furniture, painting. I was doing art, basically, you know.
Were you friends with Matty? Were you friends with Matty?
But they said, huh?
Were you friends with Matty, or was he a bit too older?
Oh yeah. Of course,
Wow.
of course. Yeah. I was friends with Matty. Yeah, he would organize these events. You know, well, I was just to hang around his place as well. He was like he loved to do these African music parties, you know, and he would do like the full moon parties and blah blah blah. And then he's at the end of his days when he was really sick, he spent time at home. You know, we looked after him. You know, when he was sick. You know, and he couldn't drive or he couldn't do things for himself, you know. So we looked after him for a little while, you know. And I was actually doing my, but then there was this film that came today, yeah. I mean, this there was like shooting this film called Four Last Songs, okay. Francesca Joseph is the director. So they all came and they started shooting, and there was like Stanley Tucci, Rizzy Fans, Hugh Bonneville, you know, the actors, you know. And then I was helping them with the art department, you know. And then I talked to the director. I said, "Hey, Francesca, you know what? I've done like some acting in Madrid before, you know. Maybe you have a role for me." You know? I said, "Okay, I'll think about it." So I was like, this morning I was taking Amaro, you know, to school. He was still a kid, you know. And then I get this call from the production, you know, and they said, you know, one of the guys who plays the role of the mechanic, he has a gig in Palma, whatever, a theater gig, and he can do it. Now we think you could do it, you know. I think, and then I had to, I had to leave the kid at school, go back home, and go to the setting, and then I was rapidly changed and pushed into the set, you know. And there was Stanley Tucci and Hugh Bonneville. I was like playing a scene with them after years and years of not doing anything as an actor. So well, I said, this is fun, you know. Why don't I do it more? So after that, we went to live in London, and then I you know, recycled myself. I went back to acting school in London, you know, and then I started to work there, you know, to actually you know, serious and you know, all kinds of film, you know. And then after that, I came back to Madrid, Spain, and that's where I started working on the series.
So what is your role that I'm going to use the word proud? What is the role that you're most proud of up to now that you've done in acting?
As an actor?
Yeah.
Well, I've done this Spanish comedy called like Chavecina, in which I had a role, you know, and it's like the more, and also I had for some reason before that I always act as I always portrayed baddies, you know, and I had like
really?
for some reason.
Must be your face.
And, oh, maybe so, maybe so, maybe so. But yeah, I played in England. I played like the devil twice in a week. You know,
actually,
different productions.
Beelzebub.
The different productions.
Okay, but what was it? Was it Satan, Beelzebub?
No, it was like something like the Heart of Darkness. You know, that
really, I was reading that today. This is the book I've read the most often. It's my favorite book. I don't know. We could go to books if you want, but I think Joseph Conrad, Heart of Darkness, is probably as good as it gets regarding the written word. I don't know if you agree or disagree.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Definitely.
I go back there a lot, and it's also my favorite movie is probably Apocalypse Now, which is based on that.
Yeah, it's a great film, isn't it?
I can rewatch it. I hate war movies, but this is something different. They're just the way.
Yeah, also because images are very strong. You know, the images. You know, all that. You know, all that bombing with napalm of the fields of Vietnam. You know, and the helicopters coming with the walk of the Valkyrias. You know, and it's quite amazing. You know, quite stunning looking images. You know.
And we've got 4 minutes, right? So, like, okay. if there's anything else you want to talk about before we solve the problem in the Middle East, because I know how to solve it, but like, I think this colonialism, I think America has to apologize to Vietnam for a start. Can you remember if America ever won a war? And I was watching the images of Afghanistan last week. That was hilarious. What happened in Afghanistan?
Dictators in South America, no?
In South America as well. I remember I watched Gaddafi being killed live. They propped up Gaddafi. They propped up Osama bin Laden. They propped up Hamas. They prop up everybody, and then what is I don't know. Like we've got 4 minutes left. Sorry.
Well, it's a long debate, isn't it?
I think it's not everybody says it's complicated. It's not complicated to see.
It's their interest. You know, the CIA, they they prop up governments and dictators, and then they take them out, they knock them down when they feel like it. You know, when they're not no longer convenient. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So what can I say? They helped Pinochet. You know, get to power in Chile. You know, in '73.
I love Victor Jara, and I love also the writer Neruda.
Neruda, yeah,
Victims
Pablo
of
Neruda.
this fucking oppressive regime.
Chilean literature, I mean, like all Latin American literature, for me nowadays, it's the best literature written in Spanish. Definitely, it comes from Chile, from Argentina, from Colombia. You know, it's from Peru as well. There's new writers, new authors from all those countries. You know, and
There's some great movies as well. The one about the Amores Perros, or some great
Amores
movies.
Perros.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, you mean like Iñárritu?
Yeah.
Iñárritu. Yeah, that's a great movie. Yeah.
But I mean, I've kind of lost touch of the last 20 years. Since 2000, I've not really been, I've kind of stopped paying attention. I suppose I hit 50 and then I was like, okay. So the last 24 years is a bit of a mystery to me.
I see.
Everything.
Well, nowadays you have all these platforms, you know, in which you can watch movies. Filming is a good one, you know. Yeah, but it's not that expensive, like 10 euros a month, you know, and then you can watch all the films, you know.
I don't pay for anything, man. But look, this is really good. We've got 2 minutes left. Thank you very much. Let's do this. We can do this regularly if you want. I really enjoyed speaking to you.
Okay. Yeah. My pleasure. You know, I like it. Well, thank you for me. You know, yeah. Let me know when you're going to put it up. And,
yeah, no, straight away. I'm going to put it out straight away. I'm going to go to. I was about to go to sleep, and I don't know. You're really a unique character, and I'm really happy that I met you in Dea because, as you know, I don't know. Dea is like, I don't know what to say. I'm trying to be positive and healing because my whole life has been negative and hurtful. So I'm trying to.
It's about time then to turn it over, isn't it? Otherwise, you're going to die bitter.
Yeah.
It's not a good plan to die bitter. You have to
definitely not. And we're so lucky. We're lucky people. Like
you have to forgive. You have to forgive and to to live and let live. You know,
live and let live is Paul McCartney, right? Live and let live. There's a band called Love. Have you heard of this band called Love? Arthur Lee.
You mean like the